everybody, it's Heidi from Flutterby, heidi.wordpress.com, back again with another Ferrero Friday project, and this time it's a little lidded explosion box. So quite simply you take the lid off and your little box explodes out, and there in the middle is your Ferrero. So lots of boxes like this around, but I just thought it was rather fun to show you that you don't always have to make your boxes all out of card. You'll see here that actually I've made it out of DSP. This is the cherry on top DSP. Get it while you still can. Lovely bright sunshine colours, real primary kind of colours, great for kids' parties. And this one's got a little design of hearts on it. And I've coupled that with some cucumber crush. I don't use green very often, but I just thought now's the time to get it out and use it. So you'll see on the lid here, I've actually used some washi tape. That was another challenge we were set recently, to use more washi tape. And I've got a selection of washi tape, and I don't use it very often. You'll see here a selection of some here. There's some retired ones there as well. So I thought actually I'm going to use a bit more. So all I've done is just use that to decorate around the edge of the box, just to show you that you can do different things. This is quite useful when you're doing small boxes. You don't want to cut tiny little pieces of DSP always. So on the top we've stamped a little sentiment, used some little hearts from the confetti heart punch, and you'll see again I've used the washi tape just to cover the card and punch out there. Now I know the word window punch is retiring and has sold out. However, don't despair. Although this one is sold out, there is something new coming along which I think you're going to love just as much as the word window punch. So don't get too despondent. So off we go with the box. So what you're going to need is your envelope punch board and a square of designer series paper, which is cut to 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. And I've used the Go Wild. This is another challenge, use more Go Wild. And this Go Wild paper actually is great for men's cards. And this is, I think, reduced in price at the moment because it's retiring. But you'll see it's got some great animal prints, but also some other just kind of geometric patterns, which for masculine cards is great. Or you can also colour it up and use it for non-masculine cards as well. So there you go. That's just an idea for you of different things that you can use, and this one is fabulous because you'll see this is what I store my paper stacks in. This is a 7-inch plastic pocket, and it just helps me to keep all my little bits in together. And you'll see on the back I write what it is, what the catalogue number is, so I can always reorder it, and also which colours. They are on the front of the pads, but it's useful just to have an extra reference as well. So back to the project. So piece of DSP cut to 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, and you're going to punch and score at 1 5/8 and at 3 3/4. So 3 3/4, which is just up here, and then quite simply rotate and follow the lines around. Now because it's a square box, so obviously it's nice and equal, it's actually the same measurements, so 1 5/8 and 3 3/4. That's useful because if you were using a paper which was quite heavily patterned, sometimes it can be quite tricky to see your score lines. So when you're doing a square box, you can always just measure again. So that's your punching and scoring done. Put the board away, get rid of my debris, and then all I'm going to do is just fold and burnish. Just gently when you're using DSP, because it's easy for it to, if you're not careful, you will, I have been known to sort of crack it. So, okay, so you've gone round and folded all those down, and the top piece as well. Now, because this is one of the beauties of making these out of paper, because it is paper, it means that I'm not going to score these. I'm actually just going to pinch fold them together. So you see there, I've just lined up the two edges, and on the inside I'm just going to use my fingers to score that together. So again, just crease, put the two edges together and just squeeze that. And you can reinforce those with your bone folder afterwards. There you go, and just pinch together. Sorry, I've perhaps been a bit off camera there, I do apologise. And again. So pinch it, line up. Okay, so now you've got those creased, and you can go around and reinforce those with your bone folder as you go around. And I'm just literally just running that on the inside. Then all you need to do is fold the flaps down. You could round them if you wanted to. I haven't, because they're going inside the box, so it really doesn't matter. I'm actually using fuse here, but you could use snail. It's just because I like a slightly better, and I like it to be nice and firm. I don't want my box coming apart when somebody opens it up. So I find that although you can use snail for paper on paper, I just prefer to use fuse. So that is the first part of your box completed, as you'll see. There you go. Now it's quite so, and I've deliberately made it a bit bigger because you've got these little flaps which fold in. So there's your basic box. Now the lid is made with a very simple square of card, and this is 9.8 by 9.8, 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 inches. And I am going to line it up. I'm going to give you the score measurements in centimetres, just because on the right hand side here at the top, you see it's very easy to see the centimetres, and so just the number 1. So you're going to score at 1 centimetre and 2.5, and then you're going to do that on all 4 sides. 1 centimetre, 2.5, 1 and 2.5 again, and 1 and 2.5. Okay, so that's done. And again, I'm going to just reinforce all of those. And I think I said earlier, it's the reinforced lid that we did with the flush fitting box the other week. So it's exactly the same method. So once you've actually cut those, so you're going to go around and trim away these outside 3 squares. And you will be notching out as well. I just prefer to go around and do it in this way. You see, I'm just cutting at an angle here, which is going to fold inside a bit. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you've trimmed everything away, and then you're just going to notch out the tabs on each of the 4 corners. And if you remember, we did this, we sort of turned it round either clockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on which way you want, but so that you're always cutting the tab in the same orientation each time. So if you make your tab on your right, then you can cut it. And that was, if you remember, that's because it makes a nice even box. So turn it over and fold your 4 flaps in, and then all you do is just add some fuse to each of those tabs, and then we're going to be sticking this down. So if you run your fuse on the outside edge, but you'll see I'm actually, where I'm not quite, to make sure I don't go over the edge, I'm just coming slightly in towards the middle of the box. You can see there, and that's fine, because that's just going to hold it in place. So you just fold up each of those 4 corners, aligning the corners as I've done there, and then fold those flaps in on all 4 sides. Okay, just tucking it in. That holds the tabs in place, and just makes a really nice neat finish. And then just burnish those down, because you can see there it just needs a bit of a press to get it in place. So there's your lid. Very simple lid on top of the box. And then all I'm going to do is take a little bit of our of washi tape to go around the edge. And I've taken a narrow one here. She says hoping to find the edge, because Okay, so, and because it's got white, sort of clear dots, it just allows a little bit of the colour to come through. And washi tape is very forgiving if you haven't quite got it. So I'm just going to overlap it there and snip. So that's my washi tape decoration. And it looks a little bit bare, so just a piece of DSP for the top. Again, I've got my fuse to hand because I've just been using it, but it really doesn't matter which you use. So, and then all we're going to do is stamp the sentiment and use a little bit of card to make our embellishment for our lid. So the stamp set I've used is one that I'm fairly sure is not retiring. It hasn't got a dot on it. So one big meaning. So this is a lovely thanks, a little thanks, thanks kindly, lots of lovely thank yous, and a really big one as well. So you can really use that. You see, I've only just opened it and started using it. So first outing for it today, and I'm going to use the Tip Top Taupe ink. And this is a really nice brown that we've got, a very useful one. So just tap, 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 a little thanks. And I say, don't panic that the word window punch is disappearing, because there is something coming along which I think you're going to love just as much. So there we go, a little thanks. And then just to show you how I made the background using the washi tape, it was as simple as putting literally some of the washi tape. You can't quite see that, apologies. So I've just put the washi tape onto some plain white card. And then just go in with your punch and punch out 2 of those, and it's as simple as that. And I actually did some die cut butterflies the other day as well, all I'm doing there is just overlapping those two. I'm going to put a little bit of a little thanks there. And then all I've done is just put a bit of fuse on the back there, a little thanks. And then for the little hearts, I've just got a bit of scrap black cardstock, and I'm using the confetti punch here to make some confetti. And then with this, use whatever glue you happen to have and like using. Because you only want a tiny bit of glue, I'm just going to put a couple of dots of our fine tip glue on these. It's not, it's quite a thin glue, so I'm just going to leave it to set just for a second. There we go. And as you'll see, you can then just pick it up and blob it around everywhere, as I've just done. That wasn't a very good example, was it? So a little thanks, a couple of hearts, and there you go. And of course, what you can always do is put that confetti inside your box for whoever it is that opens it as well. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that. It was a bit of a messy one, just for a change. Thank you for watching. Sorry the light wasn't terribly good. It's been a miserable day here in the Midlands, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and join me again for Ferrero Friday. Bye bye now.